So Jacqueline here, and when I'm explaining to you about today is basically an overview or some context to what we're doing with a company called Globallee. And again, like I mentioned, I want you to just absorb what I have to say. I'm going to be talking at you for a moment, and then just decide if you want to move forward with more information for yourself or not. That's basically essentially it. So we are part of what is right now a whisper launch, and I say that because it's not been soft launched yet. It's going to be end of April, early May, for a new network marketing company called Globallee. There are a number of really compelling reasons why you would want to look at a project like this, and I'm hoping I can explain those to you. So there's a number of reasons why you would want to look at it. Just before I get into all of the detail, I am not a professional network marketer. I am not a seven-figure earner, although we're working with many seven-figure earners in the network marketing space who have seen launches and been part of them a number of times over a decade or so. I am like a six-figure type earner, a person that's really done well in the corporate world and have done really decent in a side hustle in this space. But I that's who I am, so that you're aware. So if you're not a person that's been a seven-figure earner, that's okay. Me neither. But this is a really fantastic opportunity to develop some of that potential in the space. I work for a bank, a financial institution. I've been serving small business in a strategy capacity for 20 years. And so what I do for a living is kick the tires of companies, find out what's missing, and help them along in a path to further themselves in a business sense in a number of ways. So this is a familiar realm for me. It may be a familiar realm for you in that way, or it may not. Doesn't matter. But my point is, I just want to let you know who's talking, and that's me. My husband's on the line. His name's Caleb. I think he might be under my picture. It says Caleb. Maybe he should get his own profile. We have three little girls, one 8, one 4, one 9 weeks old with Down syndrome. And that has just pivoted our life into now really having to consider coming from that corporate conversation and into something of a network marketing space. So that's just who we are, so that you're aware. All right, Globallee. I'm going to share my screen with you. What I'm using here is just a 2-page or tear-off sheet, just for a little of a visual overview. So what we're looking at is why Globallee for you, why for me, like what's kind of going on in the conversation that would make it compelling. There are a number of things that we want to see when we're looking at the success of a company. And right now, what we've laid out is the 5 things that basically Peter Drucker discovered or developed in examining companies in the network marketing space, out in the network marketing space that have been successful after 2 to 3 years in business. Most companies fail in the first 1 to 3 years. And so we're looking into the 10% that didn't fail. What was working? What happened in that space that made them more successful or successful in general than others? And we look hard at the company, the products, the trend, the timing, and then the compensation. Can I make money? And so here's a couple things about this. If you look at this bottom little arrow thing here, this is basically, if you've heard the term of S-curve economics, every trend goes through an S-curve where there's a bunch of pioneering, nobody gets it, nobody thinks it makes sense, and then suddenly 10% of the market catches wind of it, and it skyrockets to 1,000% growth year over year until it's a blue chip economy, or everyone knows what that company is. You can think about this if you look at like a Q-tip, for example. That's a cotton swab with the Q-tip ends, but that brand Q-tip took that conversation, took that 10% market share, and now the only thing we know of is a Q-tip. You can look at some category kings like Amazon, Google, where there just really isn't a strong second. That all of these companies followed a similar trend. So where you are, as a heads up, is right in the beginning of the pioneering stage with this company. And now I'm going to dig into what is compelling about that. So in terms of leadership, you should know there are 5 key people that are at the helm of the conversation. And what has been very attractive to me is one is Mark McKnight. He's an award-winning product manufacturer. Mark McKnight is very, very well known in the space. He's formulated products for over 170 companies in the network marketing arena. $8 billion in total sales in that direct marketing space. And outside of that, $2 billion in sales to companies like Purina, GNC, Trader Joe's, things we know and love. He is very well known. If you're a Shark Tank person, you watch Shark Tank, when people go to pitch their product, if they worked with Mark, they use that as a compelling selling point. He has a phenomenal reputation and is just extremely well known. And network marketers across the board, when they're hearing that Mark is come out of retirement and into his own company, are giving a hard look at what that means, because he has a really solid and strong commitment to quality, effectiveness, and just overall commitment to making great work. One of the things that is driving the conversation is a product that he created for GNC, and so I'm going to wrap in a little bit of what we're offering, but he was working on a product for GNC that is in the HGH space. Raise your hand if you know what HGH is. GNC said, thanks for developing this product for us. Can you reduce the effective ingredients to create more margin for us? And that was a constant conversation that Mark was having with a lot of companies, is they're bringing their idea to him, and he's got to create the outcome that they're desiring, but then fit their budget. And so his work in creativity as a creator formulator would be limited by the scope of the company's ability to put it together. And that particular product that he created for GNC, which is highly effective, and all of it, they wanted to change it. And he said, no, I'm going to hold on to that. And that is the second product that we'll be launching through this company now, through Globallee. And that is all natural HGH product that is a precursor, 100% precursor. So there's not microdosed HGH in it, which actually helps us get across the borders, which really matters if you're trying to scale a company into international space. But it's 100% natural, helps the body make its own production of HGH and release it in the body. Super excited about that. But Mark does not now have to compromise his work. He's able to create the absolute most effective product in any category that he ventures into. Very, very compelling. Lamia Bettaieb is the #1 female network marketer in the network marketing space in 2015. She put 500,000 people on global Wi-Fi, tens of millions of dollars, which she then invested in Bitcoin. Anybody even know about Bitcoin? Well, she got out on time and is now able to finance her dream of owning a U.S. company. Very excited about her leadership and experience. And then she's been a longtime friend with Nauder, and the three of them have obviously crossed paths in a number of ways. But Nauder Khazan, it says board chairman systems expert. He is the guy who companies take their company to in order to get it into international space. So there's a lot of regulations that have to take place. There's a lot of blacklisted products across the border. If you have ever driven up across from the U.S. into Canada and you get, barbecue sauce at McDonald's, it is not the same barbecue sauce that it is in the U.S. because they've got different products that they allow in their country. And Nauder is the guy who is an expert in that area, not allowing or not, he's able to negotiate right through the regulatory process and also watch for blacklisted products and make it amazing. So out of the gate with those three people at our leadership of our company, we've got 20 years experience plus for each of those two, a very strong financial backing, but we've got the best product commitment with a top formulator. And then the guy who's been, in the international space for over 20 years, he's got 51 countries opened, residuals in 17 countries. He does not need us financially to do anything. All of these people are set, but they want to come together and create a legacy company, one that you don't have to jump from one to the next, one that can be created with the big game in mind versus it being like basically a product company. All that to say, the best at the helm there. And I'll just mention lastly, Christopher Prey. He is an Amazon executive the last 10 years. He's been managing a $500 million portfolio for the distribution system. And he's bringing in the concept of customer obsession. And I don't know if this has come up in your world before, where you just forget the customer. I've worked with companies that don't even have a phone number to call customer service. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. So for Christopher Prey to be at the helm, creating the customer experience language and conversation out of the gate is super huge. And it's also going to be the first network marketing company to be in heavy negotiations about using Amazon distribution. Are you a primer? I'm a primer. It's all about prime for me. So we're looking at that, using that network to distribute, and also doing some business with exclusive products through this company just for Amazon, which will also be a huge, compelling conversation. At the end of the day, when I heard and learned and had kind of kicked the tires with just the leadership alone, I was already like, yes, because that's been a big deal to me. Integrity is huge. Commitment is huge. And so you just don't want to lean your ladder against a building and, get to the top of it to find that people at the top don't care about you. And what's great is that we're already learning who these people are, what they're up to, what they've been up to, with a fantastic track record and reputation, and the financing to back it up. It's something that we can look at for the long haul. I'm going to touch briefly on the rest of these pieces here, just to round out the conversation. So do we have the company lockdown in place? Answer is yes. As far as the company structure is concerned, people who are involved in creating it, it's a big deal. The product. Now, you have to have a whiz-bang product. It's just like if we were selling 8-track tapes or DVDs, we would not be relevant, right? I mean, I know half of you might not even know what those are. I'm showing my age here. But now, purity in product is a huge concept right now. It's obviously very hot. Our commitment is to have the purest ingredients possible, highest level of quality and effectiveness. And as an example, one of the products, we have 47 products in the queue as a heads up. This is not just a one product company. 47 products in the queue. The first one is Taka, which is an energy drink. It's a nutrition beverage, comes in a stick pack like this. I wasn't so fired up about a nutrition beverage. I mean, I think that's kind of been done before. However, from a business perspective, it's a $2 billion industry. There is no learning curve. I don't have to convince you to know how to open up a stick pack and throw it in some water. It's an easy point of entry for anyone. And as a marketer, it's at a great price point. And I've been selling a nutrition beverage in this space that is a luxury product. And that has been a big barrier. And so for this to be, it's like $45 a box. It's it's a great price point, and if this was 16 ounces of water, which it isn't, at the 16 ounce energy beverage product comparison, it's 38% more effective than anything on the market right now. And Mark knows that because he's formulated most of them. If you've seen Pink Drinks or whatever, there is really no company he hasn't worked with one or more products. And so just as a heads up, we know that ours are the highest quality and most effective. And that is the goal, is to be the absolute standout in the space, in every space that we enter. And that speaks to most active ingredients in the dose. Everything that we're going to be doing is patent supported, science-based, and backed so that we can create a solid, compelling conversation that is rooted in something tangible. So we're not just, walking around talking about how great we feel. We can have some science-based patented results, double-blind placebos, all of it, so that we can feel really confident about what we share. And in that, he wants to have in that customer obsession feel, we want our products to be sustainable and something that will support retention. It doesn't matter if you get a person to try your product for a month and then they never, they don't fall in love with it, or then they never buy it again. That doesn't help anybody in business from a consistency and sustainability perspective. Our goal is to have people fall in love, have a romantic experience with the product, that they be that amazing, that it would support that retention as a standout point. Lastly, trends. Are we on trend? Absolutely. Health and wellness is huge. Financial wellness is huge. Graceful aging is a conversation around the HGH piece. That is an absolute on trend conversation. Easy. And then just the timing. I'll say this, as far as the timing is concerned, I am 41, and my husband and I just tell people that, like, maybe I shouldn't tell everybody how old I am, because like you would have never known. I'm just kidding. But we built the Amway business in our 20s. We loved it. I learned about network marketing in a traditional sense, in a really vast product set. It was awesome. And it was amazing, but the opportunity for me to make money in Amway was very different than people who had been building it since the beginning. You look at any trend, look at any company, and the thing my dad would say to me as I brought different ideas to him over time, he would say, yeah, those things work if you get it in the beginning. Have you heard that before? That is the case right now. That is the timing that we're speaking to. This, again, is a whisper launch. It has not been soft launch yet. The official hard launch with media coverage and all that will happen in October. So for people to jump in from a leadership perspective and lay a network now, you'll be able to absorb and be ready when the gates open with a team in place of business owners who will be marketing. That's who we're looking for. That's what we're trying to lay out now. The kind of money that can be made in the beginning and in this space is exponentially different than getting into any company that's existing in the space right now, period. So I hate to be strong, but it is what it is. You'll remember this conversation. You'll either get in and remember that we had it and you'll be glad you jumped in, or you'll look back like, yeah, I knew a guy who was building Amazon in his garage. I thought he was crazy. It's that kind of thing, like I could have bought Microsoft and it was under $10 or whatever, and I didn't. Those are the kind of things I want to just say so that I can feel responsible enough that I said it strong enough for you to go, okay, let me just look for more information, because it's almost like a favor, to be really honest. This is a big deal. I don't mean to be like kind of weird or curt about it, but it's just the truth. Like, it's just the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. It's Sunday. It's time to tell the truth today. Anywho, and not only the timing piece, but I just want to point out the global part is that a lot of times companies start and they have a really weak launch. And so we do the US first, and then we'll go to Canada, and then we'll go to the US. We are opening 14 countries day one because of our network. So massive, massive opportunity. I'm going to touch on this super briefly. This is the compensation piece. And I'm going to ask you to go back and do your own homework, because you're probably a person who reads. So you can go back and digest. There are 8 major pieces of the compensation plan that you can look through and see how they work and what's available. What I've seen in terms of compensation is it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Very advantageous to the right behaviors as a leader that matter to me. But a couple things that are included, and I'm not going to go into like kind of great detail about this, but one is that we do have a dual team commission. You might know the word binary. There is a binary component on the front part of the business to help with fast start, a fast start feel. And then there's also a unilevel on the back side so that you can maximize retention and profitability from a personal development piece. So what you do, you get paid for. On the dual team commission, it's the team benefits from each other. So we've got the front end and the back end, front end fast start, back end retention. And then if you look down at this bottom part where the circles are, like literally kind of the game plan is that you help 2 people and then you help them find 2 people. And that's really what you focus on. That's it. This is called team lead. I did this with my husband recently in about 2 weeks. We were able to lay in our initial foundation, and now we're off helping other people break team leads. And that's very profitable. And that's as simple as it is. That's all you do. You just do that again. So, can you find 2 people? Yes. And then it obviously compounds and teams are built. But that is the kind of building block of duplication in this system. And so the 3 kind of bonuses I would only mention, and then I'm going to have you go look at the comp plan for yourself. The one is that there is a fast start on the dual team commissions. There is a retention in that unilateral, that's monthly. There is daily cycling, weekly team and monthly residuals. So there's all opportunities to be paid every day of the month are there. And then there's a matching bonus that I'm super excited about, which is why I'm trying to bring on leaders I want to help and do really great, fantastic partnering with. And so I'm not going to go into more detail about the comp plan. It is super simple, laid out very well, and it's right on the homepage of the company website. So you can actually get the link from the person that invited you to look at that in detail. But as you're kicking the tires, I'm just going to go back to the top here. Question is, do we have the company? Do we have the products in place? The company leadership, do we have the products in place? They are shipping and they are paying. It's only been open about 6-8 weeks right now doing in that space. So there's very few people that are involved, which is really good news for you. We are absolutely on trend. The timing could not be better. Today is the day that it's better than tomorrow, because we're still filling in those teams and those spots as we speak. I know my team has grown exponentially daily, and so that's the nature of this kind of project. And is the compensation set to be paid? Absolutely, by a landslide. And please do your homework with kicking that around for yourself to see what is available. It's massive. I hope that gives you enough to think to yourself, is this a compelling conversation? Is a new startup network marketing company a compelling conversation? Is products like something super simple and affordable in the nutrition beverage space, and HGH, which happens to be a $7 billion projected industry as we speak. You can look that up. Is that compelling? Yes. This drink will have 12 flavors. We'll be doing gut health, brain health, immunity support, pre-workout, post-workout, and a CBD infused. I don't know that there is another company that's CBD and HGH. This is a biohacking dream. So around the intermittent fasting support conversation, and then I can get skinny and maybe back up on my Botox. I don't know. Question for you is this enough information for you to want to kick the tires more, examine the comp plan for yourself, and can make a consideration of if you want to be part of the leadership team that launches it. So thanks for paying attention there. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll address your questions to the folks who are watching it live. Thanks.